Hey fam!
Let's be
3D. Hey, what's up fam?
Hey.
It's another episode of Let's Be 3D. Insert applause. Yes. You can hear the excitement right now. Anyway, we are excited to bring this last episode of our year of 2017.
Yes.
And just so y'all know, we will be taking a
Sorry.
we will be taking a break from the podcast because we'll be heading into the studio next week, and then the ladies
We're gonna be out west.
have a trip planned of their own. Yeah, so
Sorry.
it's gonna be
From
good
home on the
stuff.
range.
Oh, I was like, what? Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
So
Little patch of heaven.
it'll be pretty
I
much
just got my drift.
yeah.
Took me a second, okay? Sorry.
It'll be a little over a month before we come back
6
with
weeks.
the next episode.
5.
There you go. I got 2 different numbers. But anyway, you
5.
will
I
find
counted.
out when the next
We'll figure it out.
episode will come out.
We'll
So,
let you know.
but in the meantime, we will wrap up this crazy year of being overseas in 2017. And a lot of stuff happened the last week of our mission trip. So we're going to talk about that today. But first off, we have roll call. And yes, you have heard the voice of Joshua, the guitar player.
Wow, you
Guitar
have been
hero.
privileged to hear the voice of Joshua.
Wait, what?
I,
You
the
feel
way-
The
privileged?
privilege.
No, they
You said
are.
that.
The way you said it, like they are privileged to hear your voice.
Oh,
Abby was just making fun of you. It's fine.
wow. Wow.
Naomi's here. I have my journal, so we are ready to go. I
Don't
literally
find the
remembered.
Bible.
I remembered this morning. I did it again. Sorry. I remembered that I had a journal specifically for our mission trips. And I write everything. Like, if I don't remember something, if I can remember the day, I can look back in my journal and figure out whatever I forgot it was.
Right.
That's probably a scary thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I am actually very educated about this week because of my
That
journal.
is awesome because I am
Abby's not.
not as much. I don't journal. Never. I've always I'll start journaling and then
One day.
one day later.
And then months
Yeah,
later.
this is too exhausting.
Right. I hear
It's
you.
emotionally relieving.
Oh,
That's-
Emotional.
anyway.
Yeah,
I think
whatever.
some people are journalers and some people are,
Are
not.
not.
Don't
Yeah.
judge.
And I'm not.
No judging.
No judgments.
Judgments. Okay. So Naomi's
Abby
here.
and Abby's here too.
Obviously.
Hello. Hello.
And hey, Jacob's here.
Thank you for
We're
being here.
excited to bring this last little bit of 2017.
Yes. Special
Um,
week. Crazy week.
This week was kind
I'm gonna read
was
her
kind of
journal.
crazy.
All right. You may read it. Do not let Jacob see it.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Why
I
not?
don't like.
What did you write about us? Were
No.
we trouble back
This-
then?
I didn't
okay.
see your thoughts
No, I'm
on
kidding, I'm
paper.
kidding.
Come on, dude.
Nah, I hear you. Anyway.
That level of vulnerability is not.
It's the dark and light side of Naomi's out. Let's just say that.
Ooh. Ooh.
Anyway, we're talking about our last week of camp in Djibouti. This one was teen focused,
Yes.
if I remember correctly.
I like how you said that.
Yeah, because there were some brother
honestly-
sister pairs.
Yes.
Well,
that- or
honestly,
brother,
my
brother,
group,
sister, whatever.
I'll kind of start us off a little bit here.
Go ahead.
My group was actually more on the preteen side. Like they were like in the 11 to 12 to, I think the oldest might have been 14.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back.
But you
I
had
did have a
another-
couple that were like 16, 17, but still.
But you had a big
It-
group too.
Actually, no. It was
didn't?
it was significantly smaller than
Which one
last
was
I had
the
a
group
huge
that you
group.
had
Before.
in? Yeah, you had like
I
20
had
some odd
27
girls.
again.
Which
Fun
group
times.
was the one? Was it this group or the kids group that we talked about a couple weeks ago that you had in that one room with Bogdan
20 something.
or with?
that was 2016,
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this group was smaller.
and that was Mihai actually.
Or with me.
But this year I had Raul, his
Right.
brother, this time,
And I
that
had
was-
Marius,
yeah, I think so.
Deanna's
Naomi
brother.
again.
Anyway,
Yes.
this is good stuff.
It was.
It was-
So
it was
do you
a
have
great
any
week.
memories from your group? Just let's stick to teaching right now before we get into the fun stuff that we did on the side.
Right. We
Fun stuff?
honestly, honestly, there
I know
wasn't
because I read my journal.
right.
funny.
This year was definitely interesting in my group because a lot of them I didn't have, some of them I had from the previous year, and then others were new to my group. So, and plus having Raul there, it was definitely fun and interesting, but um honestly, there wasn't really anything memorable, because like I said last week with kids camp, that was that was a lot of fun. But teen camp was definitely not as eventful.
The self-control
So,
level
yeah.
went up.
Yeah. So
I have a question.
what's that?
Because I don't remember if this kid was in your group or not. I believe his name was Marius, but he lived right next door to the apartment building where we were staying, and we could hear him practicing his ukulele. Was he at teen camp or was that kids camp?
That was Darius. with a D.
Darius.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You're
And,
talking about the kid. He usually wore those blue shorts.
Yes,
We're
but we
and,
could hear
and he
him.
almost had almost red hair,
Yes.
which was
Yes.
interesting for a Romanian.
Yes.
Because usually they're
they're
dark
very dark.
redheaded and
But we could hear him practicing his
Yeah.
ukulele because
Right.
he'd be outside or something.
right. I remember
Was
that.
he
I
in
remember
your
that.
group?
He was in my group. And-
teen.
yes.
Cool.
Yes, he was.
I was just trying to.
But, yeah, he was one of those, like I said, that was around 11-ish.
Yeah.
But he still came to the teen camp. It was, yeah. Like I said, there wasn't really anything memorable as far as teaching. I mean, we had
as far as the
fun and
camp
stuff.
goes, it was
I
good.
had memories.
you
Sorry.
you had a bunch of girls.
I did. I had 27 again. And we lined the room. It went better though than the last time. Number one, because this was our second year, so you're kind of a little bit more comfortable having that. God bless you.
Your journal just gives me
Hey,
the.
wait, did you leave my bookmark
Wow.
in there? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay,
Kidding.
anyway.
I just had.
As
If
I
you
was
hear a lot of
Before I was
slamming,
rudely interrupted. Just kidding.
Wow. I have no idea what y'all were talking about. I was busy reading your journal.
We were talking about Josh's group, and now we're on my group.
Okay, and then I get to talk about my group.
Then you can talk about your group.
and then Jacob can
Then
talk.
talk about his group. Anyway, so I had 27. I believe it was. I believe the youngest was 12 or 13,
Mhm,
and
yeah.
then all the way to 17, something like that. Anyway,
Yes.
most were beginners, so we did the whole rhythm exercises and stuff like that. But I believe they learned all 6 songs, if I remember right. But why I remember this group more than I remember all my groups usually because they're just anyway. But this group was especially memorable because the youngest, I believe she was 12 or 13, and her name started with a D, and I don't remember. I didn't write it in my journal, so I don't remember her name. But she was deaf.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Or at least legally deaf. Probably not completely,
Mhm.
but she couldn't hear if I was teaching. And she had a translator with her who was also learning ukulele, Andrea. I do remember her name. Andrea or something like that. Anyway, we're friends on Facebook. Anyway, so I noticed her the first day doing signs to the girl. The deaf girl. I hate calling her that, but I don't remember her name. Anyway, and I asked Naomi, I'm like, is she deaf? Because I'm like, if she's deaf, she's doing really good, for being a beginner on the ukulele and able to pick up the chords and stuff. And so Naomi, again, this is just praising Naomi and her heart for serving and stuff. She Googled the Romanian sign language alphabet so that she could help Andrea, because Andrea knew English but not as fluently as Naomi. So there was a partnership with them
I remember
helping
you telling
with
me about this.
it was really, really cool. And
Yeah.
she did very, very well. Again, I was like, wow, because she was learning all the chords and stuff. And Andrea was super nice. And the fact that she picked up the ukulele as well, so both of them, she would drive her to or walk from the bus station. So they were together a lot. So if I remember right, they spent a lot of time practicing together, which I thought was really cool.
That's
and then
awesome.
also I had Diana and Julia
Yes.
in my group.
Well, remember Rebecca
And-
as
and
well.
Yeah.
Rebecca. No, so I didn't have Deanna. I mixed up Deanna and Rebecca.
Okay, yeah.
I had
Deanna
Rebecca,
was my
your
translator.
Sorry. We just spent a lot of time with Deanna that week, so I mixed the two up. Anyway, Rebecca and Julia.
Yes.
And both of them lived in Jabot. So we actually spent a lot of time with them that whole week, which we'll get into playing games and stuff. Anyway, why I remember
playing spoons with those squishy candy thingies.
That was
They're like Starbursts, but
better.
so much
They're
better.
so good.
much, because I'm not a big fan of Starbursts.
Yeah.
So I was
Never
kind of
was, no.
skeptical, but they were very, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
I
Anyways.
forget what they were called, but
I don't remember.
We ate so much
We,
candy.
we were that was
time.
not good for you. But anyway, why I remember those two not only was because we spent a lot of time with them.
Right.
But Julia, she's just an unforgettable character. She was so funny. Her parents moved to Rome, Italy for work. So she grew up in Rome and then they moved back to Jabot. So she just had that Italian, just like the way of how they talk and stuff. And so her accent was really cool too, because it was a mixture of Italian and Eastern European.
Right.
So she was just a lot of fun, and really got to connect with her and Rebecca over the week, especially since they lived right there. And then the last thing I just want to say about this group was I felt led again at the end of the week to present the gospel in a different way, because I wasn't using racism, because that wasn't happening in that group like it did in 2016, which led me to share the gospel in 2016. So this was just completely just sharing the gospel. And what I used kind of as the example was Song of Hope, because they loved that song. And actually, Rebecca and Julia would stay usually after the afternoon lesson, when usually everyone goes home. They don't have to ride the bus or anything. They walk home. So they would stay.
Right.
And they wanted to learn how to play Song of Hope, because in 2017, I was playing it on the ukulele and singing it. So I had some private lessons with them, teaching them Song of Hope, and they just loved the song. And so that's what I used to present the gospel and stuff. And instead of having everyone pray right then and there, because some of them were already professing Christians, being from the church and stuff like that. So how I phrased it was, if anyone who wanted to be saved or start or dedicate their life, kind of using those words, because you have to be more specific.
Right.
Because, some people, well, I'm a Christian because I go to the Orthodox church or something like that. So I kind of phrased it like that. If you want to stay for a few minutes after, then we'll pray together and stuff like that. So keeping it more intimate, and half of them stayed after.
Yeah.
Some to accept Jesus as their savior, and some just choosing to start following Christ and making wiser choices in their life. Rebecca was one of the ones who was dedicating her life to making wiser choices and following God and stuff like that. Julia was being saved. Both her parents were avid atheists and stuff like that, which we'll get more into meeting her family and her father later. But that was just really cool. And I remember after we prayed, I hugged her and I whispered in her ear, I said, Jesus is your song of hope now. And she started crying and stuff, because she loved that song. And so just that picture of, he's your hope now. You can sing that song with conviction, because that's who your hope is. Anyway, and I remember just talking to her throughout the week. We would have dinner together or around classes and stuff like that, just encouraging her, because again, her family, unbelievers, and her and Rebecca being friends and doing that together, I believe really helped her and stuff. I don't keep up with her as much as I used to, but I still text her every year on her spiritual birthday, because I know exactly when that day is, because I was there.
Wow.
So I always like texting her, saying happy spiritual birthday, just checking on her at least once a year. I know she keeps up with us a little bit on social media.
Yeah.
So that was just really, really cool. And I'll pass the buck because I've been talking a lot. But I have some more special memories that I want to share, but not that's it about the teaching side
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I wanted to
Abby.
ask Jacob to go before me because I was trying. I think I have an idea of who was in my group, but I wanted to check. So I'm over here scrolling through Facebook photos trying to find the picture of my.
You're still
group.
like in.
I
I
know,
don't know.
2018.
2018.
Good luck.
Yes, I am. Thank
Anyway,
you.
sure, I'll go next. That way you.
Yes.
We're not.
I mean, I
awkwardly
have an idea, but I just
watching
wanted
you.
to make sure. So
Do you want me to get it for you?
I got it. I got this.
You know how
No,
to
we're not
scroll?
awkwardly
Wow.
watching you scroll.
Yeah.
Facebook
Okay,
pictures.
Jake.
Anyway, so I had all the young adults, 18 and up, both guys and girls, because I had Christina, Phineas's mom, even what was his name? Nelu, the older gentleman.
Yeah.
Pastor. Pastor.
No. The
Johan was his.
yeah,
name.
he was. You remember?
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, you know who I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
he's the
okay.
older gentleman. Very
Johan?
sweet.
Johan, is that
Didn't
his
know
name?
a
John?
lick of
Quiche
English, but
is
he
his
was
last name.
Nello.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
Yeah.
called him Brother Nelu.
Yeah, because Luca
Anyway.
and
Yeah, those were his grandkids.
What was his sister's name?
Louisa.
Thank you. I knew it started with an L.
Yeah.
Anyway, Luca was a
and
piece of
Louisa.
work. Anyway,
Yeah, he was.
well, he was just a ham. He was really funny.
I
He
had
and
him
John
in my
Mark.
class.
He and John Mark got
That's
along
right.
real well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But anyway, he was in my class, learning ukulele. So I had older to young adults, and I think I had about a dozen or so
Yeah.
with Marius as my translator.
Right.
And it was really good. They learned really fast. We went, I think, if I remember correctly, we went through the whole advanced section. Otherwise, not really anything eventful. I mean, I didn't have any
Right.
kids, so you know,
Oh, so
Didn't
you
have any self-control
any
issues.
kids.
it was normal-ish.
yeah. I mean,
As normal as you can get.
right, exactly.
Have you
Yeah.
Have you found anything yet?
Bummer.
It was the
Well,
teaching was
okay.
rather. I mean, during the teaching, it was uneventful,
Yeah.
so to speak.
We had a lot of stuff that we did at night or in the afternoon because it only went
Yes.
till about 1.
Yeah, 9 to
the
1, just
afternoon?
like the kids camp.
Yeah.
Because one night, we had concerts this week at night
Mhm.
at some churches. I know
Yeah, I
this
think
'cause
we
of my
did
journal.
like 2 or 3.
Because of my journal, people.
Actually, I think we did, 3 or 4.
We didn't do
it was
every night.
more than the kids camp. But we had one free night that we invited any teens who could make it to the
yes.
retreat camp.
I remember
And we
Yes.
played
Yes.
Lotsy's game. We just ran around.
That
It was a
was-
night
I
with the
remember
teens.
that.
We
Yeah.
played
was
the Flying
first,
Dutchman.
That was the first
That was
night.
the kids
Yeah.
one.
We
That
played the
was the
Flying
kids one.
Dutchman.
That was the kids one.
Oh,
Okay, that was
That where they taught it to us.
The
Y'all played it
Flying
with the teens.
Dutchman
but
was
we learned
so
it with the
fun.
kids.
Such a
gotcha.
fun game. It was
I forget how to play
basically
that.
you stood in a circle
Yeah,
We had videos.
and
I'm sure we did.
um,
Is this the one where the two people are
Yes.
hand in hand walking around the
And
circle,
then they
Yeah.
and then they
Yes.
touch
It
a
was like
clasped
a
hand,
double
and those
duck
people
duck
have to
goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have to run around.
and get back to the hole.
Okay, so basically you stand in a circle. So you don't have a partner, but it's kind of you're going to have either this partner or this partner. Anyway,
Yes.
depending upon
You have
whose
to be
hands
paying
you're
attention.
holding. You do have to be paying attention. Okay, so there's 2 people that start walking around the circle
Hand in hand.
hand in hand. Yes, holding hands.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
they would
not in a
touch-
weird way, but you know what I mean.
Jacob. We make things awkward on here. We like elongate the awkwardness. Anyway, but they would touch a pair of hands. So if I was like holding Jacob's hand
Yep.
and the couple that was walking around touched our hands, we would have to run and try to get back, run around the circle, try to get back to our spot before they got there.
But we had to go the opposite direction that they
Right.
did. So if they were going around the circle,
Yeah, so we wouldn't run into obviously.
right,
yeah.
obviously. Well, but that still happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
But if we were
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we ran it.
if they were going around the circle clockwise,
I found my group. Wait, that's the kids camp.
Okay, I'm trying to find. I would like
Hey.
to see my group.
All right, just a second.
back on topic here. We were
This
so
was kids. We don't have pictures of teens.
Sorry, guys.
So
Yeah.
if the couple or whatever that was outside the circle was going around the circle clockwise, whoever's pair of hands they touched had to go counterclockwise.
Right.
So they would pass each other and then try and get back to the hole.
Who was the one? I'm trying to remember which was the one that
The funny-
there was
yeah.
like one that they ran smack into each
Oh,
other.
yeah. I don't
and then
remember. It
I
happened several times.
Then there was one
Oh.
time where someone slipped. Like it was like,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well,
but anyway.
what would happen is if, like, okay, if Joshua and I were standing next to each other and we got picked, we were relatively okay
Fast.
because we're both the same speed and same size.
Right.
But if, for instance, like Luka Keish, we've already mentioned him. He was a little guy
Yeah.
then. I
Yeah.
mean, that's 3-4 years ago. But he was very short, like half my height.
Oh yeah.
If I and him were together and our hands got touched and we had to run, we had a problem because
Well,
he was smaller and
honestly,
not as fast as me.
Joshua,
was it
if
Bogdan
I
that picked
remember
up Joe
right-
Mark?
Oh,
Yes.
my word.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
But
Basically, just
honestly,
picked Joe Mark
Joshua,
up and ran.
When you would have a little kid, you were like dragging them
I know,
along
I
with
would too.
you.
I couldn't.
We
help
felt
it.
sorry for them.
Nah.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry for
Well-
my brother. Like, and sometimes the kids would run into each other. Anyway, it was super fun
Yes.
game. Obviously.
If you were on the outside,
You'd have to have a big
whatever,
group to make
if you
it
were running
fun.
around, if you were the outside hand or whatever, you had to run faster, just
Yeah.
physics and stuff.
Yeah.
And if that was a little kid, then we
you
had
could
problems.
switch hands, though, right?
No,
Oh no, you can. I thought.
So
you could.
Abby, do you
Okay,
have any
so
memories?
yes, I know my group now. Okay, because
You
I
do.
got them mixed up, and I was like trying to remember. On kids, because if y'all remember, I didn't have a lot of memories on kids. I remember like the most recent memories of wherever we're at. So like we went overseas in 2018. Obviously, I remember that one the best, and everything else kind of fades. And you're like see if 2017 was our last year, I would have remembered that one the best. But
Right.
you
True.
know, so it's just kind of. Sorry, guys. I skipped my knee and I can't cross my legs the way I do. Oh, it's so annoying. Anyway,
Oh goodness.
so my group I had like 4 or 5 girls, and Deanna was my translator. They were teens, obviously. I think I had returning girls. That's why I had a small group. Part
I
of me
think
thinks
you're
that.
right.
Because I had, is it her name Yelena?
No, I think it was Estora and Christina were the sisters, right?
No, you're talking about Yonella and Christina. Yonella was in my group
Yonella.
both years.
No, she was in my.
Here,
I
I'll
have
show
a
you
picture.
Okay.
I have
The
a picture.
You have a
sisters.
picture.
Yeah, Yonella
Yes.
was in my
Yeah,
group.
yeah, yeah.
And Christina.
Okay, then I'm mixing up yours too. I must
'Cause
have had
you
just guys.
Here's your group, Jay.
I must have had just guys.
Thank God for Facebook.
Yeah,
these
because
pictures-
I had
I thought
what's
I
his
had
name?
guys
Phineas.
and girls, but I didn't.
I had Phineas's mom in my group.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, here,
I think we
Jay.
split up guys and
That's
girls
your
that year.
group.
Yep. Yeah, I remember those knuckleheads.
I was about
So
to say,
he's
all of them look like, some of them look like a couple bad boys. It's really funny.
There were, I mean,
Not bad,
like
just
kid,
like
like,
the cool kids.
ball. There
Wish
weren't
that I
any.
could be like-
I didn't have any like balls of energy.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
You didn't
but
have kids.
but they, there were a couple that were slightly lazier than
Right.
the others.
Well, now looking at these pictures, I forgot I had the Pope brothers, Titus and
Diana's
Patrick.
brothers.
Yes.
Lord have mercy, those
Where
two
they?
were
Here, I'll show you.
hilarious.
There was-
Sorry, we're looking at.
And
We're looking
then
at
also
pictures, sorry.
had Luka Keish, and then I also had
Oh
Marco.
my word! I remember
Oh,
them too.
yeah.
Those knuckleheads.
Oh.
Crazy.
So
anyway,
any more about
so my
teaching?
group, I had 2. I don't think they were officially sisters.
I'm not sure.
They
I don't remember.
Are. They
I
are.
don't remember their family because they were
Okay,
in
I didn't know
foster
if they were
care.
cousins. They were in foster care. See,
They're
I thought that's how
sisters?
they were sisters was because they were living together in a foster home. Or
Yeah,
something.
I can't remember.
I don't
if
think they were
blood
like
sisters or not.
officially blood sisters,
No,
but
they
maybe they
are.
were. Okay,
But they were in.
so but they were.
They were separated.
Oh,
I mean, like they were. I think one year they were living together, and one year they weren't. It just depends on where they.
well,
were.
they were. she was an orphan. Both of them, they were orphans.
Yeah.
Grew up in foster home. Weren't they at the orphanage, or were they? There was an orphanage we visited.
We visited
that year.
that week, or was that the week before?
I don't know.
I
which
don't
week.
remember.
It may
but I
have
know.
been that week because we did a lot of concerts in teen camp. We
Yes.
only had like 1 or 2 free nights.
Right.
I
Was it
think we
that-
did the.
Was it that week?
I don't
But
remember if
weren't
they were there or not. I think they were there, but they were there.
I thought
they walked
had
over there with
stayed
us.
there at
Yeah.
one time.
They did.
They
They
used to
walked
live there.
over.
Okay.
They
Because
walked over there with
Yonella
us.
was growing. There was a certain age limit, and
Yeah.
She was aging out of the
And
foster
the
care
sad
system,
thing
yeah.
is most of these kids were not permanent residents of the
Right.
orphanage, but their parents or a single parent traveled to work.
Mhm.
You know, like in Italy, like Julia's parents, or Ukraine, or somewhere, wherever there was work, better work than Romania. So they would be out of the country for months and months. So they would put their kids in the orphanage.
Yeah.
So it was just, so it
Yeah.
depend. Not
And
all of them were like,
and there were
had no
some
parents.
Roma gypsy kids
yes.
as well.
So they
Had
were.
that going on.
That's their background, and so it was really a cool opportunity to be a blessing to them
Mhm.
and love on them. Those were the two. Jacob, I'm talking about my
I know.
group.
I'm-
Put your hand down.
I have the orphanage brought to mind a very
A
significant
very
memory.
important
We'll
memory.
get back to the orphanage. Let's finish with the teaching.
You're the
stuff.
last one on teaching. Just
Okay.
FYI.
So those two were probably the closest that I got to out of the group I had. I also remember I had Phineas's mom. Phineas was like 5 the last time we were there. Anyway,
yes.
his mom, Christina,
he's like 8 or 9.
or Christiana, Christina. So I had 2 Christinas. But she was super sweet, knew English really well, and I just loved being around her sweet spirit. And of course, she loved learning ukulele alongside Phineas. So I don't know if she was at kids camp that year, but she was at the teen camp.
Yeah.
And
Teen young adult
yes,
camp.
teen young adult camp. Anyway, and then I had 2 other girls that were probably like 12 or 13
Yeah.
that were in my group as well. And so it was a good group. I don't remember a lot about it except the normal teaching stuff that we did. We would work
Right.
through the book. I think I had returning, so we were probably learning more intermediate songs.
Yes.
And that's because Julia and Rebecca were first-time campers, but they wanted to learn. So
Song of
you
Hope.
would take
So,
them aside.
yeah.
So that was really cool. Anyway,
Before
not
Jacob
much else,
tells-
but it was a good week.
it was a
with them.
very good week and a bad week, but we'll get in there later.
Right.
Yes. The end of
Before
the week.
you get into the
Yeah.
orphanage, Joshua wants to touch on what Joe Mark and Mom were doing
Right.
during this
Oh,
week.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
we haven't
yeah.
talked about them yet.
Mom had I believe some of the younger beginners and like didn't know anything like she had usual. Then John Mark had the pleasure of I think there was like 5 or 6 of them, gypsy boys. And
Yeah.
we're talking now we mentioned Alexandra and Violetta, and they are what Pastor Teo would call clean gypsies in the sense
Right.
Yeah.
they don't live. We
In the
mentioned the
gypsy
gypsy
street.
street before.
Yeah.
They don't live there anymore. They live in, a clean house. They're very well. Some of the stuff they wear is beautiful. Just that
Those their best
traditional
clothes and stuff, yeah.
Exactly. But these boys were from the gypsy street, and we're talking, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, and so John Mark had these boys with Bogdan in the basement.
Yep.
Yeah. So he definitely had a fun time with
Yes.
those boys.
But at least he had Bogdan, because Bogdan
Yes.
is amazing.
Yeah.
And also,
He's also
Jacob-
physically intimidating.
yes.
Big boy.
Jacob, I think you mentioned last week about one boy not coming back because he
There
got
were
sick.
There was
But
one.
I remember in my journal, not the whole story. So really quick, I believe he was originally in your group,
Mine.
Vasi.
Yeah.
He's in university now. I keep up with him a little bit. Again, some you keep up with more just because they're more active on social media or whatever. Some, it's a once a year thing, like with Julia. But he was coming to camp and stuff like that. And then we actually ate at Naomi's house and Bogdan's house twice this week. So we're not always
once
with
at the Kennedys and once at the
twice.
Bindias. Whoa, twice?
Twice in 1 week.
In 1 week.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
They take great care of us. Anyway, but
photo
the
was
one
amazing.
time at I think it was the second time that we ate with Bogdan and his family. Remember, he took us in his soda can car?
Yeah.
His little electric
and he
car.
let me drive. He let me drive. I don't know if he
I
let
don't know how
any.
to
No,
drive, so- I didn't know how to
wasn't gonna
drive.
drive that thing.
Well, it was a. What did he call it? It was semi-automatic.
Something.
It didn't have a clutch, but you still had to hit the stick
Right.
shift for it to shift.
Anyway, so he was
It was
driving us
interesting.
around in
That
that.
was fun.
And then we were just walking around riding bicycles or whatever. I think we went to a soccer field nearby.
Oh,
But
yeah. We played
met
soccer.
up with Vossi. Vossi was out because that was actually the area that he lived
Yeah.
in that part of Jabot. So we ran into him and he hadn't come to camp that day.
Yes.
And I remember asking him, you feeling okay? You didn't. And what happened was his mom is a straight up Orthodox. And when she found out that he was going to the Baptist church for the music stuff, she was not happy. So she did not allow him to go back to camp for the rest of the week. So that's why he wasn't
No.
there. I just remembered that. And it was, you run into those situations and you're just really frustrated because you want to help them. But then at the same time, there's cultural family stuff that you have to honor. And so that was a situation where we tried to encourage him. I remember having several long conversations about God and religion later in the next upcoming year before we've kind of drifted and haven't. It's been a couple years since I've talked with him.
Yeah.
But so just that environment where he has a strict Orthodox mom, and then he goes to school where they don't teach about God or
Right.
whatever. So just lots of conflicting feelings. But
Yeah.
I believe he was able to come to the concert. He didn't participate in it, obviously.
No, but he was
But
there.
he was there. So, we still got to connect with him a little bit. But just one of those situations where you
Yes.
have to walk the fine line of standing on your convictions, but honoring the culture or
Yeah.
respecting family dynamics and stuff like that.
Right.
I had a couple of the orphanage thing, but one of the times we went out with Bogdan, I can't remember. I know it was Bogdan, me, and Joshua, and I think John Mark played soccer with this group of 5 or 6
I believe
Romanian
Raul was
boys.
with us.
Was Raul with us
Yes.
too?
Yes.
And they ran circles around
I'm
us.
sure.
Well, because we were like 5 or 6 against however many.
I think there was
It was
like
like-
8 or 9 of them.
Yeah. that was
Now,
fun.
Raul is he had hurt something in his
Yeah.
knee or something, so
Yeah.
he wasn't up to
Par.
up to his usual form, but he's usually a very good
Yeah.
soccer
Both
player.
he and his brother Mihai. How
I remember
Raul
Mihai.
described Mihai was he could kick with both feet.
Yes.
Like, he was strong
he
in both
was
legs.
playing.
and that's
Mihai was
unusual.
playing at one time. I don't know what he's doing now, but at one time he was playing with a semi-pro team in
Right.
Romania.
Yeah.
I remember
I
that.
mean, he was
Yeah.
that good.
So talk about
Anyway,
the orphanage.
so the
They had a
orphanage.
sister, too.
Yes, Alexia.
Yes.
Yes,
But
we
she wasn't
taught
at
her,
the
but she wasn't at the
camp.
camp.
She wasn't in
She
20,
had-
she
she was-
was 2016.
Yeah, she was vacation or school or something.
But
Okay.
she
wasn't there.
was one of our students the first year.
Yes,
So
one
anyway,
of
go
mine,
ahead.
if I remember correctly.
Orphanage. Tell them.
Yeah, so the orphanage. So we played, I don't know, 45 minutes,
Something like that.
something like that. And then we decided to go outside and play some games with the
Fun
kids.
times, right?
It was fun. We
It
played
was fun.
all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah.
On this, it's not AstroTurf. What was it? It was some kind of like, it wasn't
Playing
concrete. It
field,
was
but-
like, yeah.
Maybe the Romanian version of AstroTurf. I
No.
don't know.
AstroTurf is like grass, but not real.
No.
This was
Like the Romanian version of
like
asphalt.
playground
Yeah.
materials.
Yeah.
Not
Something.
not
Oh, yeah,
mulch
yeah.
playground, but like
Oh,
that.
no, more
Like you go
Squishy
into the
stuff.
Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
Yes.
playground, play place or
Yes,
whatever.
something like
That's
that.
something, but rougher and obviously not as thick.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the Chick-fil-A stuff is real squishy.
Yeah.
This was like
Fairly
quarter
hard.
inch on slab of concrete. Anyway, as I found out later. So the last thing we did was a relay race.
Yes.
And so I don't remember, was I captain and you were captain and we
Yes.
picked kids or whatever?
Yes.
And we had like a dozen kids lined up. And so we'd run, I don't know, 25 yards and then
Yeah.
come back.
The
Yes.
space of the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was.
So
little.
anyway, Joshua and I were last.
No,
I
you,
was not last. I was second to
Raul
last.
was last.
Raul was last.
Yes, because remember, he felt awful. Because it was you and Raul. Remember?
No. I raced
Or
against
Bogdan.
Joshua.
No, you raced against Bogdan. I raced against Raul,
Right.
and I beat him because of his light.
Well,
And
yeah.
he gave up at the end.
He gave up at the end. But
had video.
anyway, so it was very close, but I think Joshua's team was winning.
it was
And-
it was pretty close.
Or it was pretty close. Anyway, I take off and come around. Well, one of the kids stepped into, I'm going full speed.
Oh yeah.
And I can't slow down that quickly. One of the kids steps out of line, like right into so I grab him and do this Baymax thing. I hit my knee on the ground and then come around, and we have it on
You
video
roll.
somewhere.
We do
We
have it
have
on video.
video
It's I
editing.
roll.
I will
I hit the
find
kid
it.
and roll.
It's an awesome.
Yes.
It's like a movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
It was
Man,
really cool.
Jacob comes running up.
It's
to-
like
not
Baymax.
he
prepared
slaps
for that.
Raul. Yeah, there's always a high five where it's a relay race. Well, he high fives Raul and he just barrels over this kid.
Well, I
It's
didn't.
hilarious.
I didn't run him. I grabbed, kind of like
Yeah.
Baymax does, but he does it in
Yes.
slow motion, and he's kind of poofy. I'm not.
Jacob's not.
He's a freight train, y'all.
Anyway, I grab the kid and I twist and roll. So
Yes.
I hit my
Knee.
right knee
And
or
your
left
elbow.
knee. I hit both knees pretty hard,
Yeah.
but I hit the right knee like
And your
super
elbow
hard,
because you
and
rolled
the elbow.
on your arm.
Yeah,
It was scraped really bad.
and
Not as bad as mom when she fell, but it was really bad.
it was interesting. I think the kid got away with one little scrape.
Yeah,
Oh,
thankfully
your
the kid was
elbow
okay.
was the thing.
It
that
Elbow was bad, and I forget which knee it was, but
Your
it was
knee was
really
scraped, but Your
bad.
elbow was like bruised.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really bad. No broken bones,
No,
but
no.
it was
Hey,
scraped.
but it was.
I do
was
just
a
want to
fun one.
mention.
We need
I
to
know
post that
that
video.
there's a lot of memories
We
here
have
and
to
stuff.
find the
So
video for
this
that. It was
episode, y'all,
awesome.
may be a hair longer, and that's okay because we're not gonna have any more episodes.
yeah,
for a
they
while.
can split
So-
it up if you
so
need
if you
to
wanna
listen
take your
to
time,
half.
you know.
and- Anyway,
Yeah.
so are you done?
So yeah, I almost killed myself
But
to save a
he's
kid.
here.
The kid
was
was not
fun.
harmed. No
Yes.
kid was harmed.
No, that was the whole thing. He stepped in, so I just,
He
did what I
felt
could.
so bad. The kid, he was like, it was like he was shaking it.
I know.
It was like,
Yeah.
what just happened? Because it happened so fast. But mom
It
was
did.
videoing it, and we have it. Anyway,
Yeah.
I will
Oh,
find
my
it.
word.
I promise you.
So
Okay, so just really quick before, because I know we need to talk about our adventure
Ooh,
home.
talk about the in concert, because
That's what I was going to
okay,
mention.
because
What's
Teo was
with-
able to get us into the Cultural Arts
Yes.
Center with
So this
both
was-
groups.
What?
there's a couple things before that.
But-
if
Well,
we could
okay.
talk
Both
about
groups,
that
the
before,
kids group-
because I want
the
the
kids
in
groups and the-
concert and
didn't we?
then
No, no.
No,
everything
okay.
The kids
else
group played
afterward.
at the
That will
church.
be
Okay.
very last.
I thought we had the kids group get up and
The
play at the
kids-
Cultural Arts Center.
Yes, we did.
I thought so.
because I had
as
Phineas.
an
Right,
that was the
added
only one.
part.
As a group,
Any
though.
of the kids who could make it, because some of them were in different.
Okay,
villages and
that explains some of the short people in the picture.
stuff. Yes.
Yes.
Anyway,
'Cause some of those kids were in my group from Kids Camp.
Yes.
So I combined it.
No.
Or did we?
No,
What?
No, that
separate.
was you and Jamark's group. You and Jamark's group was combined that because you can see when y'all posed for the picture,
Uh-huh.
it's you, Bogdan, and Jamark. So it's
Huh,
like y'all
okay.
combined y'all's groups for some reason.
I
don't
have
know.
no memory of this.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Okay, before
I
Joshua
don't
just
know.
reminded me.
I
before
trust
we
you.
Get
I just don't remember.
And I was
into
just going on
the-
the picture.
in concert and then the fun trip home. I mentioned that it was a bad week. It was a good week, but it was also a bad week because there was just and I write I write about it. It's funny, it's a mixture of like all the fun stuff we were doing, but then on the side
Yeah.
there
Wasn't there
was
a lot of
just a
tension there at
lot
the end?
of miscommunication.
Yeah.
I would just like, again, more translator stuff. class stuff,
Yeah.
schedule stuff, just not a lot of communication, and we felt left on our own a lot, especially mom and dad, because they, we're especially this week in Romania, us kids, we were teaching, we were out hanging with Bogdan, Naomi, Rebecca, and Julia. We weren't always. It was usually us kids, sibs doing whatever, and then mom and dad just trying to hold the fort down, because it was just getting really, really crazy with the schedule and what churches we were going to play at and what times we were going to leave and vehicles and blah. It just got really, really crazy. And I remember mom and dad having at least 3 conversations with Teo and Kami, just trying to work out. And we were talking as a family, just feeling like this, our time in Romania was coming to an end.
Yeah.
What?
Plus all the drama from the week before, too.
Exactly. With us being left behind and stuff like that, which listen to episode 16 if you haven't. But just, we were starting to feel like our time in Romania was coming to an end. Obviously, like I've shared, I had some really, really special moments, and the joy of leading some girls to Christ, and just the concerts we did and playing at the orphanages. And it was just an amazing 2 years, but just, we started feeling like just our heart for ministry wasn't lining up. We were finding out some things, again, kind of like the translators being paid, and we were paying for everything when we thought some stuff was voluntary. So just, that's why I believe we ate twice at the Bogdan's family, because we just needed some similarity, like that fellowship where no one's trying to get something from you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just remember, especially mom, because her heart is always, we've talked about it on these mission trips, she was just there to teach. She's a teacher. She taught all 6 of us. She just has that spiritual gift. And then also just being a mom and loving on the kids. And so when there's that resistance, or people trying to get stuff from us or make money or whatever, I'm just not saying that everyone we worked with was like that in Romania. There were some really special people that we still keep up with, but we were just starting to feel that friction, and like, we're not going to be able to work well together in another year or something like that. It's not getting any better. If anything, this 3rd week was the worst.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, it was the best, because we had such amazing classes and fellowship with our friends.
Yeah.
But it was also hard on the side too.
Right. Exactly. But mentioning the concerts that we played at, it was every concert that we did. We had Bogdan with us as translator, I believe.
I don't
think
remember
for-
him
maybe
being
not
there all
for
the time.
A few
Teo
of them.
was
Sometimes,
Teo did
yeah.
it if Bogdan did.
Right. But I think every concert, if I remember right, we had Rebecca, Julia, I think Deanna, and then
Deanna a couple times.
there was another older girl that group of 4 came to every single
was so
concert.
sweet.
It was really cool.
And a lot of fun, because we needed the boost. Because sometimes we didn't have a translator, so we were sitting through 2-hour sermons, not exactly understanding what they were
Yes.
talking
That
about.
was
That was
hard.
another thing,
That was
because
hard.
in Serbia they always provided a translator
Yes.
with us,
So we could
so we felt
understand.
involved in the worship and stuff.
Yeah.
But there were over 50%. I wouldn't say 100% of the time, but over 50% of the time, we'd be sitting through the long sermons going,
Yeah.
I wonder what they're talking about,
Yes, but one memorable concert that happened this year. Do you remember the church with the brass band?
Yes.
That was
Yes.
fun.
That was
I
really
remember
cool.
this
pretty cool. I mean, we were there, playing our music and stuff, but this church had a brass band.
Didn't
literally
we play
like tuba,
a hymn together?
trumpets. Yes.
We
I
did.
think I remember
all that
that.
good
I
stuff.
remember
It was
now.
fun.
At first, I was
Trumpets,
like,
trombone.
what?
I think there was a French horn in there.
Yeah.
Maybe a
Yeah, we
saxophone.
played several concerts just like in the evening. We've mentioned that before. And those were always, it was always so cool to see a different part of Romania. It was a lot in the smaller villages where you would see people walking to church.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was just a really cool, like, wow.
It's definitely
this is
different.
like going back in time type
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
It was
It
cool.
was those were hard too. I mean, in Serbia, the concerts we played were more community things,
Right.
Mhm.
and so the crowds were livelier. They'd clap, they'd enjoy themselves, that kind of thing.
It was
They
much
did
more
not-
of an outreach thing where
Yeah.
this was
Here
for
we were
churches.
doing church services,
Right.
and
They do not
they
clap.
do not clap. So that took
Oh,
a lot
I
of
forgot
getting
about
used
that.
to.
That was
They would say
interesting.
"Amen" at the end of the song.
Amen.
That was their
After every song. I
Yeah.
mean,
Now, the only times
And
that they
so-
did clap was when we did the in concerts at the end of camp or
Camp.
the
they wouldn't clap in church.
right.
See, if we were at the camp or when we did the civic center, which I was about to get into, unless anyone else has something.
No,
But
no,
in
no.
Well, they did
church,
clap.
they
They
wouldn't
did.
clap.
Well, they did clap in church.
Which
There were a
one?
couple of songs.
When they oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, that was funny.
What?
It was
I'm lost.
what's his name? The sound guy. What's his name?
I know who you're
I know
talking
it.
about.
I
Oh,
don't.
I
this
see
guy,
his face.
he probably
I can't remember. His
was
name.
one of the few people that just. I mean,
Was it
he loved our music.
No, he wasn't a
just-
quiche.
Was-
It wasn't.
No.
Was this in?
It wasn't
the
Mariusz quiche.
Jabot?
Was
Okay.
Luca and
When did
Luis's
we
father.
go to
Yes.
their
It
house?
wasn't
Any-
Mariusz. It was
Anyway,
Was
but
it his
That
brother
was sometime this week.
or
no,
a friend?
I forgot.
Didn't write it.
Anyway, but he loved our music so much that a couple of times he started clapping and went, wait.
It was really funny.
We'd
I
all
can't
start
picture
laughing. It
him.
was hilarious.
Okay, so
Oh,
we
The
yes.
best
playing
oh, go ahead, sorry.
concerts, doing the camp. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was
That
about
was
to
kinda-
say the
kinda-
best concert
Yeah.
that week was
Yes.
the ending, the
Oh,
finale.
Yes.
concert.
Yes.
In
so
the
we're gonna
cultural
talk
center.
about that now.
So, with this being our second year, and Pastor Teo, I don't remember exactly who he met with or whatever, but he secured us a time or an evening in the Civic Center of Jabot, which is huge. Like, this was the first Christian, like, religious gathering in a government building, like,
Yes.
ever.
Yeah.
This was huge. And he was like super excited. He even got permission to preach a little bit because originally he wasn't going to be. It was just going to be music.
I remember
But then
that.
he was
To
able
give
to
a
give
short
like half an
message.
hour,
Half-
something
yeah.
like that.
Oh,
so.
less than that. It was like 15, 20
It
minutes.
was really, really
which for
short.
him is very short.
Very short.
Yes, it
But
was.
just that excitement that we were able to reach more people outside the church, because again, some won't go into the church, especially if they're already in the Orthodox,
Yeah.
because they can get in trouble.
So
Or
this
some
was a
didn't know.
way-
This was a way
Yeah.
to reach
Yeah.
the entire town of
Right.
Jabot, and so it was packed. Like,
Oh yeah,
it
And
was
this is a
packed.
500 seat,
something like that.
Something like
600
this.
seat theater.
Yeah, it was very theater style, and I remember sitting backstage. I have it written. I was sitting backstage with Diana and Bogdan, and let's just say we were just being really crazy. I mean, because
Y'all
that,
were nuts.
like,
I was.
sorry.
Yeah, I was more.
We were
serious that
trying to
day.
be quiet. I think what it was is we were getting giggles over something, but we were also trying to be quiet at the same time
Well,
because
honestly,
And it
Bogdan
wasn't
had
working.
that way of bringing that joy wherever, whatever
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
situation we
He was
were
fun.
in. It was
it was
really cool.
and it was cool to
Yeah.
see the kids get none of them got stage fright, which is really good, but that nervousness, like, this is a big deal. And
Right.
so kids from kids camp, whoever was able, so that was cool for them. So we are providing the kids that opportunity as well as the teens that were already there. And because we did that, side note, they've been able to do more ukulele concerts because Nello, Jacob
Mhm.
mentioned, he kind of took it over
He
when we
continues
left.
it as
and
far as I
he-
know.
As far as we know, I haven't kept up it's been a few months since I've seen anything, but he would keep up like meeting weekly to practice ukulele and stuff like that, and doing
we
concerts.
We
there.
left extras.
We
with
left,
them.
Yeah.
all the extras with them, and so that was really cool. And we kind of split it up to the kids performing, Pastor Teo talking, the teens performing, and then I think we played 2 sets in between there.
Yeah, we
Right.
played 15
And
or 20 minutes.
Something like that. So introducing our music to the crowd there, and we after the last song. So obviously this was a very lively concert because there were so many people, and people would clap
They
and
would
stuff like
actually
that.
clap and enjoy themselves.
We finished Orange Blossom Special. Obviously, we finished out with Orange
Right.
Blossom Special.
Oh, duh.
Playing it at
Breakneck speed.
high speed because our adrenaline's pumping. Anyway,
That was when I played the Orange Blossom special.
yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
She
No,
still
no,
Oh,
no.
played
wow.
it.
2017. You still played it. 2017.
Yes,
I
because
still
I have
played in
video. Because
2017.
there's a video on YouTube of us at IBMA 2017 playing on the youth stage,
Yeah.
and she's playing it.
Right.
So after 2017, though, we kind of
You gave it. Yeah,
Transition.
John
Really
Mark played
when
it.
we
in-
moved to Knoxville.
Yeah.
that was
That
really
was
John
the
Mark played it in
finalization of it.
2018.
Anyway,
Right.
so we finished, with the big song and everything, and crowd goes wild. Just kidding. Anyway, they were clapping for us and stuff, and then this dude, I say dude because he was that
guy, this
tats,
dude, man.
piercings. He was interesting character, but he stood up first, and then after him, like everybody stood up,
So
and
this
it was
is
the first standing ovation. Like they don't normally do that
No.
in
Yeah. Wow.
Romania, and that was Julia's father, who's an unbeliever. So
Which
that
is- it
was
was really cool.
so cool.
I'm getting
He
chills
loved
right
our
now.
music.
I
I
know.
think he grabbed Julia because he did not know English, but I think he wanted to talk to mom and dad
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some of us,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I didn't have.
I remember
the
him
chance
going
to
over
meet
to mom
him.
and dad
And
and wanting to talk
because
to him.
okay, I remember after the concert, because he had met us and everything, he allowed Julia to come back to where we were staying. She and Rebecca and we
yeah. We ate dinner with
ate dinner,
them,
played games.
Played
games.
spoons with
the
candies. Oh,
So
man,
it
we
was
ate way
just
too much
really,
candy.
really cool because
whenever we had a break, we would, and Naomi wrote, I know this because Naomi wrote about it in her journal, but whenever we would have like a rest day or something, we would, a common activity was go over to the church and their Sunday school
like their
type
youth
room.
room.
Yeah,
We played
youth
with
room,
Daniela,
and we
Emmy,
would
Bogdan, Diana,
play games.
Rebecca, and Julia.
It was a
most
lot
of
of fun. We played spoons. We might have played presidents.
I
We
think
may
I
have
remember
taught them that
presidents.
We
game,
were
yeah.
big presidents.
There was
people
one
back then.
game. It was
Haven't played
similar
that
to
game in
like, what was the game they call? It's very similar to like Dutch Blitz and Nerds.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's
What was it? Started with an S.
I know what you're talking
Uh,
about.
I have no idea. 'Cause-
It's not Stiletto. That's not the name of it.
because they had it in Serbia as well.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Is it
so,
a stiletto?
It's not
That's-
Stiletto. It's started with an
I'm
S.
just going to look. Anyway, so
Oh,
after,
no, no, no.
Ligretto.
Yeah.
Ligretto.
oh, that's right. That sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
started with an
That's
L.
Anyway,
right.
so
Well, we're
after
gonna go
we
with that.
played, had the standing ovation, we ate dinner at a restaurant with
At a
the
restaurant?
Mihawk. Yeah. Didn't you read my journal?
Oh,
Just
okay.
kidding.
Yeah,
Nice.
we went to.
We went
oh, where
to,
was the place?
it was a nice
It was a real
place.
nice place.
Anyway, but we were with Pastor Teo and his family, and then like Abby mentioned, Julia was with us, and Rebecca and Naomi and Bogdan.
Oh, I remember that. I ate a whole 14-inch pizza by myself. Yes,
Abby
I
did
remember
that.
that.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Hey!
It was good.
So we ate
It was a
dinner,
very
and
good
then
pizza.
An entire 14-inch pizza.
Well, it's a thin crust. They serve it on.
That's
thin.
true. That's
remember,
very true.
it's not. You don't have like half of it.
I
It's
did- I'm
not
not
Chicago
saying-
deep dish or
No.
Or
New
Pizza
York
Hut
style
stuff
or
I was
whatever.
pretty full after
Uh-huh.
that, but if y'all know me, pizza and ice cream I could live off for the rest of my life and be the
Amen.
happiest person
Happiest
in the
person
world.
in the
I
world.
love pizza and ice cream.
They're gonna
So
serve that in
pizza
heaven.
was always.
That's Abby's dream.
Oh, I
Anyway,
love pizza.
So after we ate, we decided to mom and dad were going to have one last conversation with Pastor Teo and Kami, talking about just the past 3 weeks with them, what next year possibly would look like and stuff like that. And so while they were doing that, us Sibs went over to the youth room again with our friends to play games,
Y'all
till
can see her,
midnight or
she's-
whatever. Stop it.
Oh,
Anyway,
and then Dad got the call.
so we just get to an apartment. We're about to change from our show
Yes, I
clothes and
remember
go over there. They're waiting for us at the youth room. And I remember Dad getting the text and his face, and he's like, we have a problem. Lufthansa had texted him, actually called him. He missed the call because we were busy. But they sent the text and email that our flight had been canceled.
Right.
Because Houston was in a state, or Texas was in a state of emergency.
Not
Houston,
amusement, I can
it
tell
was
you
not
that.
amusement.
Bush was underwater.
Yes. And we're like, okay, what's going on? Because we'd been avoiding the news because it'd been crazy with
Like, we
Trump
don't
being
need that
elected
around
and stuff.
here.
We're like, we're focusing on our mission trip. And actually, I went back and read about this last week when we were on vacation. We took those 5 days off social media too. We took a 5-day fast from social media.
I remember
So we
that.
weren't on any social media. We weren't on any news. And then when we
Yeah.
got back on, we were
sightseeing
just, we didn't do a lot of social media on our mission trip. So we're like, okay, what's going on? So Mom got on and Hurricane Harvey had been hitting Houston and that area. We had no idea. So she called her mom. She called her brothers. We were calling people trying to figure out what was going on. And of course, so after that kind of settled down and Daddy got on the phone with Lufthansa, we left to go play games and stuff. And Mom and Dad were going to figure out what that was going to look like. I
thought that conversation happened after we were all done at the youth room.
The Dallas thing was after.
Ah,
before we had no idea what we were going to do. And I was over the moon because I thought we would go to a cool place like Finland or something. And I freaked out.
Well, also we had thought
Naomi,
we
get
had
them go-
considered staying an
get them
extra
go home,
day
stop.
in Jabot with
I
our
remember
friends.
that.
So having that,
We thought we would have an
because it was
extra
their summer.
day.
I mean, they weren't doing anything.
Anyway, so I just remember we were kind of, obviously we were praying for our state and our friends and checking on them and stuff like that. But at the same time, we were kind of excited. Like it was something completely.
It was an adventure.
It was a new adventure, and we'd already gotten lost.
Adventures out
Anyway,
there.
so yeah.
Yeah, that's how we live our life.
That was an interesting evening. But we played games like till like midnight. It was super
1 o'clock.
late.
It
And
was
then we
late.
got back. We said goodnight. They were going to come in the morning to say goodbye if we didn't know if we would need an extra day in Romania or not. So we went back, and Mom and Dad had already gotten everything worked out with Lufthansa that we would fly. We would have to stay an extra day in Budapest.
So we would drive to Budapest.
We would drive to Budapest
stay a night,
because
and
our
then-
driver, who was coming to pick up the van, the Serbian
Yes.
driver to pick up the van, he was going to delay his bus ride. So they had all that worked out.
It all worked
and
out,
so we
yeah.
ended up flying from Budapest to Frankfurt like usual, but then from Frankfurt to Dallas instead of Houston because Dallas was the only international airport.
Now, hang on,
open in
before you
Houston.
get
in
on the flight home, the day in Budapest
was really interesting.
was really interesting.
Well,
Why?
before even that,
Why?
this was our
Well, hang
second.
on.
This
You
was
have
our
to wait a second.
second
Oh, goodness, I
time
don't remember
on this
this.
trip that we drove by ourselves across Romania into Hungary with a stinking GPS.
Oh,
Because
yeah, I
remember,
We got lost
we hit
again.
the dirt road. Do you
Well,
remember?
here's what we did.
Thankfully, it
We
was
told
flat this time.
Bogdan we want to have a route, a decent route.
Yes.
Cities that we need to go through to get to Budapest.
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
So he wrote down the names of the cities. So we would map to the city. Once we got there, we'd map to the next one. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
There were a couple of places where it wasn't as bad as the sightseeing trip, but it did get pretty rocky.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was some construction too on some of
Right.
the other roads. But it was an
made it.
adventure.
It was a
We
full
made
day.
it.
We made it to Budapest.
Yes.
And then so we spent the night in Budapest and we had a day
Yes.
In Budapest.
in Budapest. And so
we stayed at the hotel.
I think we stayed at the hotel all the time. We
Watched-
watched Chuck Norris, the
We
Walker
watched
Texas
Walker,
Ranger,
Texas
in
Ranger,
Hungarian
and
that
with
was
no
interesting.
English subtitles.
And that's when we discovered the science of stupid too.
Yes.
That was really funny.
Love Science of Stupid.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
watched
we-
that literally all day.
It was really we slept really late because
We
we got
chilled,
really late.
yeah.
And we visited a mall and
Did we?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we ate there.
Because we ate at
got
the mall.
ice
We had
cream.
nothing else to do.
We had nothing to do.
Okay, maybe
And
I remember
this
that. I remember
Budapest
And we
stopping
don't know.
on the way
And
to
we don't know
Hungary for,
Hungarian. Like,
No.
Oh,
So we
no
didn't walk
Hungarian
around
whatsoever.
that much, but we did a little bit because it was Budapest.
Okay, I
and
might
we were
remember
tourists for a day.
And then the scary thing though, at the airport, we had to stand in line for like, how long was it?
Oh yeah, I
It was
remember
a
that.
line.
The line was we barely made our flight out
Yeah.
to
There
Frankfurt.
was such a line. We heard that we had to get there early. But we didn't get there early enough, apparently.
The thing about the European airports that we flew out of, Belgrade and Budapest, is they opened at a set time in the morning.
Right.
And if you had an early flight, you had to be there when it opened.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you weren't,
You were gonna
You
wait
were in
line.
trouble.
Seriously, we were in line like 3 hours, right?
it wasn't that bad.
It was
felt like
it
3
was
hours.
long, but thankfully it moved fairly quickly.
It started moving, but it was seriously.
But
we
we
were
Forgot
we
about that,
made it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Anyway.
I just remember like, okay, we're gonna leave.
We're gonna miss our flight.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
We need
So
to.
we flew all the way to Dallas.
Well, we flew to
And
Frankfurt.
We flew to
And-
Frankfurt, then Dallas.
Well, we flew, and what was so funny
The
was when
plane
we
was
got
delayed, I
into
remember that.
when we got into Dallas,
Oh, yeah.
because we had been so used to Houston. Houston has a fairly international hub. It's got so there's quite a few
It's very
people.
busy.
It's not crazy busy like Atlanta or New York or Chicago, but it's still
yeah.
But we got to Dallas. We were
was
walking
so
through that airport
quiet.
going,
Dead quiet.
It was so
This is
quiet, and the
weird.
carpet. We were like, "This is nice. We should fly here next year." We didn't, but anyway,
Because Houston is crazy.
Houston is nuts. But I just remembered the Frankfurt flight. We sat on the pad for like 2 hours because they were fixing a fuel line.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
started the
remember
Lego.
that.
I almost finished the Lego movie before we even took off.
I remember that.
That's
We were,
funny.
yeah. So
Anyway,
it was a
but we
crazy
made
And-
it
trip.
back, and as
Our
some
sweet
of y'all
friends
know,
came and got
Vickers,
us.
They drove 4
Um,
hours in the van. They picked
No,
us
no, no,
up every year.
6 hours.
6
It took
hours?
them 2 hours to get out of
Katy because the flooding
The
was so
traffic.
bad.
and then the 4-hour trip
to get us
to Dallas to
So,
get us.
yeah.
and then
Yes.
the 4 hours back. We
Yeah.
did not get back until 10 o'clock
It was late. We
because
were
we
so
stopped
shocked.
at Whataburger.
Of
Yes.
course,
Oh, yes.
that was
we
tradition.
would always
Was it our
stop
last
at
3 years or
Whataburger.
4? How many years did we do that?
Every year.
We didn't do that every year.
Not every year.
Did we do it every year?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I
We
think
would
one
stop at
year we did.
Whataburger, have a Whataburger and root beer.
Yes.
Because-
I had the
'cause
coffee
we
shake.
missed
I remember
Because
that.
they don't do cheeseburgers
The coffee
so
shake.
good.
in
Before
Serbia.
keto.
They don't do cheeseburgers
I
in
remember.
Eastern
No.
Europe, at least not the way Whataburger used to make them. Now,
Bacon
Whataburger is
cheeseburger.
sold out now, and it's not
No,
so good.
it's
But
not so-
back in the day, that was our favorite fast food
Yes.
burger. And then root beer, they don't have that
No.
soda overseas.
Yeah.
So we stopped at
So,
Whataburger,
anyway.
made it back home.
But
and
we
I was
haven't-
So I
No,
was talking.
it's
You
okay.
interrupted me.
I'm sorry, but I wanted to shout out the Vickers because I don't think we've done that yet.
Yes,
Go
they
ahead,
were our
finish.
chauffeurs every year.
Well, yes. So if you're listening,
No. She can take. I'm not mad. I'm just hungry.
Wow.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I'm checking.
No, because I don't want. Mine is like kind of wrapping it up.
Right. Okay. Last thing before Abby starts wrapping it up. So, Mr. and Mrs. Vickers, if you are listening, they are amazing.
We love you.
Every
We love
year,
them. They're
all
awesome.
6 years, they drove us to the airport, except the last year because we had to fly from Knoxville.
No, we drove.
We drove ourselves.
We drove ourselves from Knoxville
and then
to
they met
Houston.
us at the hotel. Right.
Yeah.
So every year, all 6
They kept our
years,
van.
They kept our van
Yes.
Yes.
That last year, they kept our van
for us.
for us. And so they came to pick us up from the airport.
Yes.
We went to Whataburger.
Yes.
And then
We-
they left, and we left
were-
for.
yeah.
Well, actually, I think we might have spent
We
the night
spent
and
the
then
night at
left
the
for
hotel.
Knoxville.
But
Yeah.
anyway, all 6 years,
Yeah.
they drove us to and from the airport, and they were amazing. They got to see us. I don't know what we looked like when we got off the plane.
Bleary
It
eyed.
was
I hope
probably
we
really
were.
bad.
I hope we were okay, but
I hope we looked
There was
human,
one
not like
year
zombies or
where
anything.
we stayed up, and we'll probably. I don't know if we ever talked about
We
this,
never
but we'll talk
did.
about it in the
But we
bonus.
will in the bonus.
Where we
2015.
stayed up 40 hours. Was it?
Some
40
of us
hours?
it was 36 to
Oh,
40 hours.
was
for
was
some
this
of
36
us.
to
which
40
what year
hours.
was
It was
that?
2015.
It was
Yes.
2015. I was because
were
I
so
I
tired.
don't sleep on the plane. I don't.
There were a couple of times on both flights
Except-
that my eyes involuntarily closed
But when
on
we
me.
when we got out of customs and started, I was dead. And
Yeah.
I was like,
we were
so
like,
it's like
nobody say anything
saying hi
because we're
to
all
them.
like,
And then I'm like, we got home. We pulled into our driveway. I went to my room.
I would always shower, bed, because I hadn't had a shower
I
in
don't
12
think
hours.
I don't
because,
think I took a shower. I was just like bed.
getting off the plane. I need a
Okay.
shower.
Wow, Nay, thanks. Okay,
Anyway.
back to 2017.
Yes.
What? Okay, so, and we'll talk about this more in future episodes, but right after our 2017 mission trip, like the day after.
The day after, we
The
had to
day
clean
after
our whole
we
house.
got back, we had to clean our whole house for the
Because
people
someone
to come look
wanted
at the
to
house. They
see,
wanted to buy
and
it.
To
we
look at
sold our house like we
The next
moved
week.
out 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were out of the house.
We were out and in
So-
a
And then going
4-bedroom
on a
apartment.
5-week tour.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was.
It was just a little crazy.
Crazy. But we can talk
Anyway.
about that more. So that's how no, it wasn't our longest. It was only
2016 was our longest.
This was so after 2 months overseas, Hurricane Harvey, flight canceled, flight delayed, 4-hour drive home. Next day we have to clean the whole house. Yeah, it was fun times. We were so tired. Anywho, anything else?
I don't
before
think
so.
I think
am
we're
I
good.
supposed to wrap this
Yes,
up?
If
you're
we
supposed to.
remember
Yes,
anything,
yeah.
it'll be
In
in
the
the bonus
bonus.
episodes.
Episodes. Good point. There may be more than
There
one
may
bonus
be more than
episode.
one.
Anyway,
One for each
I
year.
can hear the groans
That's a whole nother 6
now.
weeks.
Anyway, I know this
We've
was...
been on this subject for a long time.
We hope
And-
you're enjoying it.
yes,
and
we
that
hope
you're
so,
getting
too.
glimpses of to why we are the way we are today.
Why are you the way that you are?
We're going to have to start coming up with other stuff to talk about
I
once
know.
we're finally
I
done.
know, right?
Sure, we have stuff lining up now.
Then
Anyway,
we'll actually get into our actual podcast.
Yeah.
yes.
We're
it's
actually
just
talking
like-
about ourselves right now.
Anyway, so
Anyway.
thank y'all for listening. If you've stayed the whole time, you are amazing. No, I don't want to see the time. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
want to know.
Stop. Okay. So
want to know.
this is Let's
I'm
Be
just kidding.
3D. We get real and 3D. Hope
We
you
certainly
enjoyed the
do.
extra dimension.
Mm.
Freaky. Anyway, so I've said thank you for listening. I'll say it again.
Illumination. Sorry. You said
Make sure
dimension, I
you
was
subscribe so you get to hear the rest of these parts.
Yes.
Later, we are taking a 5 or 6. I'm not exactly sure. Jacob says 5. I thought it was 6. But anyway,
I think
we're
it's
taking
5.
over a month, 5 to 6 weeks off the
Bye.
podcast because we're going into the studio next week.
Yes.
The week next
after
week.
next week.
Not next week, from
no,
here.
not next.
From the day they are
Oh.
listening to this podcast.
Sorry, it's 2 weeks for us, but you futuristic people
In the distant
in
future.
the not
Anyway.
so distant future.
We're going into the studio, going to Nashville, just us 6 siblings.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun with Ben Isaacs and Mark Capps
Yes.
filming. No, we're
We're not
recording.
filming anything.
We're recording.
We're recording.
Starting the recording process for Story to Tell, the new album, which, if you are interested in crowdfunding, we've had some amazing, generous blessings lately, and we thank y'all. You know who you are. We love and appreciate y'all so much. So there's still time, though. If you haven't yet crowdfunded or you want to do it again, which we really appreciate, you can go to our website, familysowell.com, find the tab on the left side or the right side, depending if you're on a phone or computer. The I Survived 2020 crowdfunding event, or actually, no, it's changed now because we have the Bandy, the bear, and the new t-shirts. It should say crowdfunding event somewhere on there.
Go for it.
Click on that and you can find all the information you need if you want to invest in this new album. So we finished 2017. We'll be back in a month or so
Month
with
and a half.
2018,
Don't
something
forget.
like that with 2018.
5, 6,
Don't forget
4.
to subscribe so you know exactly when the next episode comes out. And share
Yes.
with your friends. Let us know if you listened. All that fun stuff. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. So
Yes.
you have no excuse not to come hang with us. We
Oh,
love hanging
wow.
with y'all over there on social media. Joshua, your hand has raised for the 3rd time. Why
If,
is that?
if they want to see us perform live,
Yes.
That is
Right,
also
you
on our
told me
website.
about this
Yes, I
before.
did.
Oh, I love you. Anyway. We are out performing more and
total
more.
guilt trip. No, just kidding.
A lot of things opening up this year. So we have some more concerts coming up, possibly in your area. Let's see. August 6th, 7th, and 14th. We're going to be in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. You can see which days where on our website.
Yeah.
We'll be at the Old Smoky Barn at the Island in Pigeon Forge on 2 of those days, and then at the Old Smoky Distillery Holler thing in Gatlinburg on 2 of those days.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
6th
can come
and 14th at the Island, and well, actually 6th at the Island, 7th in Gatlinburg, and the 14th in both
places.
Yes.
Big day. Anyway, we'll be on hopefully performing at Dollywood. Not sure yet. Those dates are coming soon. Anyway, we'll be in Texas. We'll be in Louisiana. We'll be in Kentucky. We'll be here in Tennessee. So just go visit the website if you'd like to come see us in person. Hey, if we're not in your area and you want us to be in your area, if you want to see us, there's a way on the website where you can contact us. You can shoot us an email, or you can book your own personal concert, however you want that to work.
Yes.
So we'll do house, we'll play at a venue that you set up, or we'll even do virtual. So whatever you're interested in. What is it?
Nothing.
I was just concerned about Abby over here. All right, I think I've covered everything.
Yes, you've done a
Yes.
great job.
All right, we love y'all, fam. We will see you. Actually,
You will hear from us.
you will hear from us in a month or so. Back with, a universal language. Blessing me from burping. Wow.
Bless you.
For our final year with 2018.
Yes.
So we will see y'all then. And as always,
Peace, love,
fam.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions or standard of the family Sowell.
Have a lovely day.